What's going on, guys? Finally, the moment you've all been waiting for. If you saw my last video, kind of gave a little bit of like a 1-minute teaser of my new 2006 white Nissan 350z. It is a 2006, therefore that means it is the rev up. I wanted an HR, but unfortunately they're either A, too expensive, B, have a lot of miles, which is weird for being a newer vehicle, but whatever. Or it had a lot of stuff done to it, and therefore it was ragged out. So before I even get started on this, I want to give a huge shout out to Matt the Gent. Thank you so much, man. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have even found this car. Honestly, for the past like two and a half months, I've been looking all around the southeastern United States. I mean, not just Florida, Georgia, all the way out to Mississippi, all the way up to like Tennessee. And there's been tons of cars, but like I said, they're either too expensive, not the best shape, and the list goes on. So sending messages back and forth between Matt, he hit me up one day and was just like, look, man, one just posted online, it's a pretty good deal to go check it out. So I looked at it, I was like, holy crap, I'd been wanting a white Z, and lo and behold, here Matt is to save the day with a freaking 2006, like I said, white 350. And I'm just like, holy crap, man, thank you so much. So I hit up the gentleman that posted the car, and within like 11 minutes of him posting it, I was like, look, man, I'm going to the bank right now, I'm going to get cash, I'm headed to you, just take it off, take it down, do whatever you got to do. And sure enough, he took it down, and I was surprised. There was probably a good like 20 people that hit him up. Well, why is it such a good deal? Why is it this? Why is it that? But anyways, we'll get into a little bit more detail on the car itself here in a little while. I've got a few things I want to do maintenance-wise. I got to change out the belts because they are cracking and falling apart, and I'm pretty sure that's pretty loud. And secondly, I've got an oil leak underneath the car. At first, I thought it was going to be the oil pan itself, but little did I know there's an oil cooler where the filter sticks off, so the filter connects to this oil cooler, which then goes into the lower oil pan. I'm thinking that because it has 100,000 miles on it, the gasket went bad on that, and that it's just leaking down onto the pan and making it look like the gasket. So we're gonna go ahead, change out the oil, go ahead and take the oil cooler off, change out the gasket on that, put it all back together, and see if it stops the leak. If it does, awesome. If not, then I know that's probably the oil pan, and I'll just change that on my next oil change. All right, guys, now we got it jacked up. We'll go ahead and show you what we're working with. See if this thing will zoom in a little bit, and you can see. So the belt, I don't know if you can tell or not, can got quite a bit of cracks in it. That's the serpentine. If you go over to this side on the AC belt, though, this one has little chunks taken out of it. So that's one of the things we're going to be doing today. So before I get started, I figured I'd show you all the goodies. Got the Serpentine AC Belt. This is going to be the oil cooler gasket. Last time whenever I changed my oil, which was literally like 75 miles ago, I noticed that the bolt that goes into my oil pan was kind of nasty looking, and the washer was kind of fused onto it, so I went ahead and bought a new one from Z1 that's going to be magnetic and came with some new washers, so I got that. Going to put a relatively cheap filter on for the first one, because if we go underneath there and it's still leaking for whatever reason, I'm going to have to drain all the oil out again, so there's no point in buying a $20 filter just to have that happen. And because we're at 100,000 miles, going to go ahead and go with 5 quarts of 5W30 high mileage. Alright, so right here is our bolt that we're going to take out of the oil pan. It's 14 millimeters. See if we can break this puppy loose. There we go. Let her drain. While the oil continues to drizzle out, I'm going to go ahead and take off this filter. Obviously they have different pliers and whatnot you can use. I went ahead and picked up these because I'm lazy, which is a 65/67 millimeter oil filter wrench. And take the rest off by hand now that it's pretty loose. I'm going to zoom in and show you a little bit of a close-up. So what we're going to have to do is unscrew this, which is a 22 millimeter bolt. Whenever that shaft comes out, it'll allow us to take off the oil cooler. On the back side of the oil cooler, right here facing the oil pan, is where the gas is going to be. So we're going to go ahead and take that off, let the rest of the oil drain out, and change this gasket. So now we're going to take a 22 millimeter, stick it right here. I just broke it free a little bit off camera. It was a pain in the ass to try to do this with the pan underneath it. So now I'm going to go ahead and start untightening a little bit more by hand. And you can see the oil starting to leak out right here from behind. See how loose we're starting to get? So I'm going to go ahead and unscrew this. And there she is. So right here, this part of the bolt, like I said, is 22 millimeters. And then right here's where the oil filter screws on, and this goes into the back, into the oil pan itself. Now that we've got the oil cooler loose, I'm going to try to feel up in here really quick and pull out the old gasket. There she is. Here's a little bit of a comparison for you. Here's the one that we just took off compared to the new one. Look how much thicker the new one is. So old one, new one. See if we can get this to focus for us. Significant difference. So obviously with time, these do get compressed, they shrink, they go out, stuff happens. All this is opened up, I'm going to go ahead and clean on the inside of this a little bit. There's quite a bit of trash on the inside of it, and I want the gasket to have a good seal. Take a little bit of the new oil, and I'm going to go ahead and put it on both sides of this gasket here. Give it a little bit better of a seal. And let's go ahead and put it back where it came from. Now that we've got the gasket back in there, we've got to tighten this back up to between 31 and 40 foot-pounds torque. So to get a torque wrench in there, I'm going to go ahead and place back my new drain bolt, just so that it's not leaking anywhere, and I can actually go ahead and move my pan out from underneath the car so I get a little more leverage. You can see it's pretty much crushed on there really well. Instead of fighting with it, it looks kind of old and dingy, I went ahead and bought a new magnetic one with a couple extra crush washers. So this part is going to be from Z1. Oh, that's pretty cool. It actually shows what the foot-pound's supposed to be. And then we got a crush washer here with a magnetic part, so it'll catch any kind of nasty debris that's inside the oil pan. Alright. And the drain bolt says right here to tighten that down to 17 foot-pounds. This we're going to do at 31 to 40 foot-pounds. Everywhere I read online, it says you need to do it in stages. So do like 25 foot-pounds, then tighten it to 31, and then to 40. So however you want to do it, it just says to do it in stages. Alright, now that we've gotten those torqued down, we're going to go ahead and throw the filter back in. Go ahead and take your finger, or whatever you want to, put in some new oil, spin it around right here, so that it gets a nice good seal. Alright, now that we've got everything back in there, once again we'll go ahead and touch on it. The oil cooler itself said it should have been torqued between 31 and 40 foot-pounds. Typically, the drain plug here is supposed to be at 22 to 27 for the OEM bolt, but it says right here for me that I'm supposed to do 17 foot-pounds, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten it to that. And then the filter, typically it's 11 to 15. I just put it on there hand tight, so I know that it's not going to be too tight and I can get this thing off later on. So, we're good. I'm going to go up top. We're going to go ahead and fill this thing up with oil, let it run for a little while, check it again to make sure the level's good, and fingers crossed we won't have anything else leak. Alright, now that we got the oil done, time to tackle these belts. I'm going to take you under here and you can see what I'm looking at. So if you look right here, there's a 14 millimeter bolt that needs to be loosened up on this tensioner. Then there's a 12 millimeter right here. Now once you loosen this up, it allows the rod that's inside of here with this tensioner to come down, which takes pressure off of the belt that's right above it. Then I'll be able to take the belt off, put the new belt on, and we'll be good to go. Alright, so now that we loosen up this bolt and the one that's underneath it, we should be able to take this off if we get enough slack. I probably should have paid attention how this was fed into there. We'll figure it out in a minute. Here's a side-to-side comparison. You can see the left one right here. No cracks, nothing wrong with the grooves. And this one looks like a checkerboard. The same thing for the AC side. If you come over here, this bolt that's right here will loosen up the pulley a little bit, and then directly below it, there's going to be another 12 millimeter. So if you look, 14 right here for the actual pulley, and then as you loosen this, it will cause it to go up and down. So now we should be able to take the AC belt off. Ta-da! Oh yeah, this thing's demolished. All right, I'm gonna get off from underneath the car and we can check this thing out. Here's what the brand new one should look like, if I can get this thing to focus. Just the grooves, completely smooth everywhere. And yeah, here's its ugly cousin. That blows my mind. A little bit side-by-side comparison. Reminds me of some country folk out in the backwoods with no teeth. Alright, now that we got both the Serpentine and the AC belt off, we're going to do it in reverse order. We're going to take the AC belt, wrap it around over this pulley back up, and then go ahead and start screwing this bad boy to put pressure back up on the belt. Once the AC is on, you can see there's two parts right here. The AC will go on the back side of this, Serpentine's going to go on the front side of this, and the Serpentine will wrap back around. We'll do the same exact thing, tighten it and lift it back up right here. So once again, here's the 14 bolt and the little 12 volt right here that raises it up and down. So in reverse order, put your AC belt back on. If this thing will focus, screw this. It'll cause the pulley to go back up. Once the pulley's up where you want it and the belt's nice and tight, go ahead and then tighten down this bolt right here. Same thing, we went ahead and wrapped the Serpentine belt all the way around. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and screw on this, which will cause the pulley to go up, and then I'm going to go ahead and tighten that down. Then we should be done. Well, there you go, people. We got our new ones on. We're going to start it up, see how it goes. After a couple days, check it, because obviously I have a feeling with it being rubber, it could probably stretch out a little bit, but what do I know? I'm not a mechanic. I'm just a dude with a wrench. Looked underneath, no fluids are leaking. Belts aren't squealing like crazy or exploding from being too tight or slapping around from being too loose. I guess that's a success. That's awesome, because I was honestly pretty worried about these belts. And the more maintenance that I get done on this car, the sooner that it gets to go on the track. So there you have it, guys. How to change out the oil cooler gasket, also the Serpentine and AC belt on your Nissan 350z. I promise you, I'm no mechanic. If I can do it, your 2-year-old nephew can do it. But if you don't feel comfortable with it, obviously get a buddy, friend, dad, cousin, mother, doesn't matter, to help you out with it. Or if you still don't feel comfortable doing it with somebody else, just take it to a mechanic. Obviously it costs a couple extra bucks for them to do it, but at least you know it was done right. Or hopefully they did it right. Second part of this video is probably what you've been looking forward to. If you saw my last video, it was like a 1-minute little teaser just showing the outside of the car. My 2006 Nissan 350z. Whoo-wee. I've been wanting a white one for a while, and bam! Thanks to Matt the Ginge, my buddy down in Orlando, showed me the post and was like, look man, I know you've been looking for one for a while. Here's one at a steal. You gotta hop on it. So I clicked on the link to check it out, and I said, whoa, it's a white like I wanted. It's an 06, so it's the rev up, which I understand's got a little bit of an oil consumption issue, but hell, we'll just keep some extra oil with us and we're good to go. All of that for $4,500. Now let me tell you real quick, that $4,500 included the price of the car, the title, and the registration. I already had a tag from whenever I sold my Tundra, so I was able to switch that over, which saved me a little bit of money. After checking out the bill of sale, I literally paid $4,010 for this car, which some people are going to go, that's an amazing deal, and then other people are just going to be like, it is what it is. But one of the main reasons for buying this car is that I didn't really feel comfortable tracking the FRS anymore because it is my daily, and anything could go wrong. Even if it's something as simple as a radiator hose blowing, bending a tie rod, or heck, if I blow out a tire and it sucks me into the wall, I'm out a daily and a track car now. So you can kind of see where I'm going with that. Second reason, I wanted a car with a little bit more power that was almost track ready. All I have to do is drop out the differential, weld it, throw it back up there, and this thing's pretty much good to go. From what I've been told, the e-brakes in these cars are trash anyways, so I do want to do a dual caliper hydraulic e-brake setup, as well as some coilovers, angle mods, tires. That's pretty much it. I want to make this into a budget build that will inspire and motivate more people to get into drifting. I was blown away by the amount of friends that are like, oh, you must be blowing through your whole life savings for this and doing that. And don't get me wrong, it's not the cheapest thing in the world. Obviously, I'm going to blow through some tires every once in a while. I'm going to set a budget for $7,500. That's including buying the car. So $4,500, boom, from 75 right off the bat gives me about $3,000 to play with. Do I think that I'm going to be able to completely do everything? Maybe, maybe not. Hopefully we can stay under that 7,500. If we break even right at the 7,500, awesome, that was the goal. If it goes over, then it goes over. Essentially, I want to make 2 lists. One's going to be basic maintenance that I'm having to do to the car. It has 100,000 miles. As you saw today, I had to change out that oil cooler gasket that was leaking, and the belts were shot. The brakes on the car aren't the best in the world. Went and talked to a buddy today, and he told me he can give me the rotors and the pads for about $80 per axle, so that's $160 all the way around. And there are a couple other little things, changing out fluids and stuff that I want to do, but that's going to come with owning any car. The second list that I'm wanting to do is just going to give you a layout of every modification that I'm going to be doing to the car and how much it cost. So you will see that the car cost me $4,500, coilovers cost me X amount of money, welding my diff cost me this much money, the hydraulic e-brake setup cost me so much, etc, etc, etc. I want to do this to motivate more people to get into the sport, because as much fun as it is watching it, it is a totally different experience driving this car. If you have any kind of tracks that offer drifting near you, I implore you, go to the track, make as many friends as possible, and ask some of the local drivers if you can ride along with them. If the track offers for you to be able to do that, it is a mind-blowing experience. I was literally hooked. The minute I got to do a ride-along, I said, nope, I'm not going to sit in the passenger seat anymore. I'm going to be in the driver's seat. I'm going to find a car. I'm going to do whatever I can to be behind the wheel, because this is such an amazing experience. Every single time I get behind the wheel, I could literally be doing the same donut for the rest of my life and would not get bored. It's just that much fun. And obviously I say that now because I'm still in beginner stages. I think I've done 4, maybe 5 events at most. I know there's going to come a time where I'm going to want to drive different tracks, learn to tandem with people, and just push myself outside my comfort zone even more to progress as a driver. Once again, guys, thank you so much for checking out another video. I hope the beginning with the installs was a little beneficial for y'all and somebody learned something. If so, that's going to be amazing. That's the first time that I've ever changed out the oil cooler gasket or the belts on any vehicle in my life. So that's another benefit to having the Z, is that I don't have to worry about it. If I break something and the car sits there for a little while, that's fine. If I did that to the FRS, on the other hand, the car's going to be down for a while, and I'm not going to be able to go to town to get ice cream or steaks or pizza or tacos. Speaking of which, you like tacos? I like tacos. Oh my god, guys. This car's not running, so it's hot as hell in here and I'm sweating. So I'm going to go ahead and close out this video. Thank you guys for checking it out. Hopefully, like I said, you learned a little bit. I appreciate you staying this long into the video, and I'll see you on the next one, guys.